And when we had basically stopped the gambling floor there, I turned to my student and I said, there, practice your ambiance exercise. And, of course, we turned around and walked off. And you can actually do that. You can not only sense the ambiance in a room, but you can actually control the ambiance in a room to the point where you can influence the entire room. It's not remote influencing, it's just ambiance influencing. You can have, let's say you're a department head in a company. There's so much money being planned for, future expansion, and you want that money for your department. Take a secretary in who knows how to influence the ambiance in a room. When one of the other department heads starts talking, influencing it to boredom. When you start talking, your secretary influences it to interest, and guess who's going to get the money? And so this can be used as a tool, and it's an influencing tool. So anyway, the ambiance is the sixth sense, and the psychic functioning is actually your seventh sense. There's no body part that you can stick ambiance to, and so it's not considered the five senses, but it's real. And you take people and put them into a large cathedral. The ambiance is repeatable. All 100 people will report the same ambiance. You put them at the edge of a cliff, one at a time. All 100 of them are going to report, whoa, scary and all that. Ambiance is a real thing, and it's a real sense. There's just no body part to put it to. But when a person learns ambiance and learns how to control it here, then you can send their mind halfway around the world, and they can learn to sense it and control it there. Was that an answer to your question?
Oh, that's a good answer. I guess a related question would be, you recommend practicing looking at photos, right? In other words, to improve your observational abilities, you should look at something that's right in front of you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Yeah, it's the same principle. If you can't describe what's right in front of you, how am I going to send your mind halfway around the world and have you describe what's there?
Well, I've noticed that. I've tried that, and, I might get 80%.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not 100, and it's surprising.
Yeah.
You would think it's right in front of you, and you would realize, but in complicated photos, you really only get, 80% or something.
Yeah, and, people like the amazing Randy say, oh, if you're psychic, really, then you're 100% accurate. That's bull, As long as you have humans doing this, you're not going to get 100% accuracy. And this is one of the reasons that we're not trained to actually see things that are in front of us. We interpret things that are in front of us. And so when people remote view, they do the same thing. And you're never going to be 100% accurate in the remote viewing.
Yes. Anyway, it looks like that's a drill that we could all try. Just take a complicated picture and see if we really find everything, and then hand it to a friend, and then see if they get the same results. Yeah,
absolutely. And not only that, here's a tangent to go off on. When you're learning a foreign language, look at a picture and start describing it, and it will help you learn that foreign language better than the textbook will. And, learning to simply describe, either in English or in a foreign language, what's right there in front of you, not only opens your eyes and your mind, but it also opens up your vocabulary. And it's proven when you open a person's vocabulary, you open their ability to think. You expand their ability to think. It's all tied together.
Where did I put my dictionary? I guess I need to go back to, that's what I liked as a kid.
I hope it's not right there in front of you and you're not seeing it.
Exactly. Okay, Lyn, thanks for the answer there. I just know from my experience that practice of looking at photos is really helpful. And actually studying the dictionary too. I mean, so many people just have bad results, but it's because they don't know the words for things.
Unfortunately, I think to be a remote viewer, you need to be a bit of a scholar. Like, you need to have had experience, and you can't have not had, say, education, unfortunately, because it limits your vocabulary. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, and here's that I'm pretty good in, but here's one that's a little harder for some of us, and that is it really helps if you have good artistic talent. I mean, there are dozens of shades of white.
Yes.
Right. If you just see white and beige, then you're really not seeing it.
Yeah, one of my students is an artist, and we have walls in the training room that are called desert white. In other words, it's sort of a sandy white. And one time I asked the students, "What color is the wall?" And one looked around and said, "It's white." The other one looked around and said, "Well, it's slightly off-white." And then the artist said, he looked around and he said, "Well, it's about 1,000 different colors. The light from the swimming pool comes in, and over here it's a bluish white. The light from the courtyard comes in, and over here it's a greenish white from the grass." And he went on around the room just describing all the different colors, and he could see them. Where everybody else just saw white.
We're speaking with Lyn Buchanan, a controlled remote viewer, and he has a number of books, including The Seventh Sense, The Secrets of Remote Viewing as Told by a Psychic, which is available in all good bookstores. Lyn's websites are also lynbuchanan.com and www.crvviewer.com. Next, I'll pass it on to Disaster's Cat to talk about the future.
Hi again, Lyn. This is my question. Did you learn anything either during your time as a military remote viewer or since then that can shed some light about the current world situation we are in now? Also, did you learn any possible ways that people will succeed in coping with the current changes taking place? And finally, any near-term disasters we should be watching out for that are just an event or two over the horizon, either natural or man-made? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's actually about at least three questions there. Did I learn anything either during my time as a military remote viewer or since then that can shed light about the current world situation? Absolutely. We, of course, got into the minds of political leaders, found out their not only their plans and intentions, but also their motivations, personal motivations and all. And we learned an awful lot that I think may never come out in the news. To go through every bit of it would take, weeks, and would actually take me remembering what most of it was. But things that would shed some light on the current world situation seems to be something that I had never believed in before, that there is some kind of a group or entity that seems to be not only controlling the politics and the economics of the world, but or a major part of the world, but also the attitudes, the morals, and even into the religion. That winds up being scary to me, and I don't like to think about it. But one of the things we found out was that it does actually seem to exist. It's at a level that you'll, as a human, you'll never get to if you're not in that inner circle. But anyway, I think that's the one main thing that surprised me more than anything else. Did I learn any possible ways that people will succeed in coping? I'm afraid that by and large, one of the ways people cope is to turn on the TV and forget about it, to ignore it. Not only in the U.S., but in most countries, most of the people are not really concerned about the political leadership or about the finances of the country, unless it affects their own pocketbook. And people, think that the prices are rising in the U.S. Well, that's not exactly true. What's happening in the U.S. is that the dollar is getting less valuable, and so it takes more of it to buy a loaf of bread. The loaf of bread doesn't change. The amount of money that it takes to buy it does, and that's, based on the evaluation of the currency. And people don't see it like that. They just see, the price raised, who's cheating me now? And it affects their attitude. Any near-term disasters we should be watching out for that are just over the horizon, natural or man-made? This may not be the answer you want, but I really don't know. That is a question for a psychic, actually, and a controlled remote viewer basically takes their tasking and does the session to find the answer to the tasking. No one has tasked me with that question, and so I haven't really done a session on it. Now, have I done sessions wondering what's going on? Yeah, I have. A lot of people say that 2012 is going to be the end of the world and all this other stuff. What I have found in my sessions, and hopefully I can be wrong, well, I know I can be wrong on this, but hopefully I am, is that come like December the, whatever it is, 21st or something, 2012, we will have reached a point called sort of a tipping point, where beyond that there's no return, no matter what we do. We can't save the world, we can't save the economy, we can't save life as we know it, and the comforts of home and everything else. But up until that point, we can make a difference. But after that point, the system takes over, the natural system takes over, and there's no change in it. We're just hanging on to see how long we can last. Now, people have tasked me with viewing like 2025, and basically what I find is a largely agrarian society, not a society that's mechanistic or, necessarily scientific, but simply an agrarian society. So basically, according to the remote viewing I've had, does that mean the world ends? No, it continues. However, our control over what happens with the Earth after 2012 seems to be that we will have no more control. Nature will take care of itself. The economy will be unrecoverable as it is. Everything that we have and everything that we know will have come to a point where there's no saving it and there's no going back. And so those who can ride the waves, they will have gone over the crest of the waves. You either ride the wave or you drown. And so anyway, that's what I've found. But as far as specific events right on the horizon, either natural or man-made, I haven't been tasked with that, and so I haven't done a session on it.